As many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I know Donald Trump's type.
Will there be a debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, or can you answer that today?
What I would say is this. The president has been very clear that he welcomes debates, that he wants to have the conversation with the American people because he wants to communicate directly with the American people about the contrast between 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration.
12 seconds later.
Restore our standing in the world.
So is that a maybe or is that a no?
Oh, he's so scared. For anyone that isn't versed in Deflection 101, that's a no. Bunker Boy is running scared. And I mean, who wouldn't be, judging by Kamala Harris's first speech after Democrats across the board endorsed her for president?
Courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And in this campaign, I will proudly put my record against his.
As the current vice president kicked off her campaign rally, for those of us with enough wine handy able to withstand a Fox News segment for media purposes, they're handling it as well as one would think.
Oh my gosh, we had to basically get a proof of life in a phone call from Joe Biden, the current president. I'll remind everybody, yesterday, whenever Kamala Harris went to that Wilmington campaign office, this is insane.
They held a primary. People, they had ballots. They filled out circles. They went to the voting booths. They spent money on advertisements. And as President Trump said, the Republican Party spent tens of millions of dollars running against Joe Biden.
And it seems their cult leader is doing just the same, taking to Truth Social between golf rounds to spew vitriol and wage unhinged conspiracies regarding the assassination attempt. But while appearing on Fox News, RNC Chair Michael Whatley was asked point blank if Trump would debate Vice President Harris, seeing as there already is another scheduled debate, supposed to be with Biden, on ABC. And well, if you want to listen to someone spend roughly 40 seconds speaking without actually saying anything at all, then here you go.
Question. Will there be a debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, or can you answer that today?
What I would say is this. The president has been very clear that he welcomes debates, that he wants to have the conversation with the American people because he wants to communicate directly with the American people about the contrast between 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration and the 4 years under his administration, and the fact that he is the only candidate that is in a position to unite this country, to be able to restore our southern border, restore our economy, and restore our standing in the world.
So is that a maybe or is that a no?
Look, I think that the president has made it very clear that he is willing to debate anywhere, anytime, any place. And we will wait and see what the details are as they get put together.
Okay. There is certain irony to saying that Donald Trump is bad for democracy, when it looks pretty obvious that the Democratic Party leapfrogged the entire democratic system, and they did it in about 24 hours publicly.
Look, the process has always been there. I welcome, if Sean or anybody wants to become a DNC delegate, you're welcome to. But what I know is Democrats are ready to move when the situation warrants it. Look, it doesn't matter convictions. It doesn't matter failed policies. Republican Party stuck with Donald Trump. He's yours. You've got him. Welcome to it. Democratic Party can make our decisions. We pick our nominee. Look, if you don't like it, don't vote for it in November. But I think the American public are going to see they knew that this administration was delivering. We knew that as far as economic numbers placed against global numbers, America's in a far better shape. And we also know that a foreign policy that respects our alliances, not cozying up to dictators like Putin and Orban, is not the way to go.
How about this one, Governor?
J.D. Vance, mind your own business is what I would tell them.
Why does...
Do you view those attacks against you as racist?
Well, this is not the first time in my life I've been called names. And it was predictable, sadly.
Do you think the president is racist?
Yes, I do. It all speaks for itself.
I mean, now that the smoke and mirrors of Trump being the younger candidate have cleared, what else has he got?
Yeah, Trump is now the oldest nominee that we've ever seen in U.S. presidential history.
I'll be on the phone tonight calling delegates
whipping them up, trying to get them on board for Kamala Harris. I don't think that's going to be a difficult task. And anything else the vice president needs to do, I'll be there, because right now Kamala Harris has her work cut out for her. She's running against the oldest nominee for president of the United States in American history. And so when you have this type of change election, when you have this type of generational divide that you have, it's a question of whether or not you want to go backwards with Donald Trump or forward with Kamala Harris. I mean, the man is nearly 80 years old. And so the question is, can he serve another 4 years? I'm not sure he can.
When it comes to policy, he'll get destroyed, as his party has every single time abortion is on the ballot.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. And I'm proud to have done it. They wanted to get it back, right? You wouldn't have that. There would be no question. Nobody else was going to get that done but me. Yeah. And we did it. And we did something that was a miracle.
That have banned access to reproductive freedom, to abortion. They're concerned that if their daughter is going to college, will she go to a state where she will have access to the health care she might need, including reproductive health? If she chooses, she will talk with her priest, her pastor, her rabbi, her imam. But it should not be the government telling her what to do. We are not asking anyone to abandon their personal beliefs. Right. It's just that the government should not, and in this year of our Lord 2024, the government should not be telling women what to do with their bodies.
Donald Trump lost in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and last night.
On rhetoric, he'll dig his own hole, which he did last debate. But again, the media refused to pay it as much attention as Biden's performance. And what about his plans for a second term? What's he going to propose? A revamp of Obamacare that he's been promising for, 8 years and never seen the light of day?
We're going to fight to give much better health care than what you have right now. This is a newer subject, but Obamacare is a disaster. And I said, we're going to do something about it. I saved Obamacare.
Donald Trump still does not have a health care plan. And so he's starting to project the lack of a plan onto Democrats, once again vowing to repeal Obamacare.
So we can repeal and replace. We're going to have a health care plan that's going to be second to none. We have 2 plans coming out in a very short period of time. The plan is coming out over the next 4 weeks. Don't you have to tell people what the plan is? Yeah, well, we'll be announcing that in about 2 months.
It's been some years since some of those clips and still nothing. No plan.
Or will he finally admit that everything you need to know about a possible Trump second term can be found in a doctrine called Project 2025?
Now, this includes people who rose to the highest levels of his government, including 6 people who served as cabinet secretaries, including HUD Secretary Ben Carson, who remains very close to Donald Trump, as well as the cabinet secretary in charge of the Office of Personnel and Management, that's Russ Vought, who I should also point out recently helped put together the RNC platform that Trump approved. There's also several ambassadors he appointed. There are people who worked very closely at shaping his immigration policies.
And the thing is, these are all areas that Kamala Harris would press him on and come prepared to discuss, as she's already proven in the mere 48 hours since emerging.
But the framing of old versus young, convict versus cop. I mean, Kamala Harris actually even has ads that we can just get back up there, right? She calls herself the antidote to Trump, talks about how she has prosecuted sexual predators, how she has prosecuted people who've run for-profit college scams. I think that this is what the American people will much better enjoy seeing than what they had. And it will bring a lot more people who are disenchanted with this back into the fold. Gen Z voters, also a lot of Gen X voters who are kind of looking around and saying, this is the choice.
There's a reason Trump's scared. She's a prosecutor, he's a convict.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone?
I wouldn't.
Yes or no?
Could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it. Yeah. Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else.
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but
perhaps they've suggested.
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
Hinted.
I don't know.
Inferred? You don't know.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.